That summer job, scooping ice cream or lifeguarding at the pool, might seem small, but it can lead to big-time financial growth. Just a little guidance, a teen's paycheck can kickstart decades of compound interest and lay the groundwork for lifelong money habits. For more on the benefits and best ways to get started, we're joined by Lawrence Sprung, founder of Mitlin Financial and the author of Financial Planning Made Personal. Good to have you with us today, Lawrence. Okay, let's lay the groundwork here. Where is it wise to start on this?
So, as soon as your children are eligible to get working papers, where I'm located in New York, it's the age of 14, as long as they're getting a paycheck, W-2 wages. So if they're doing that babysitting job off the books per se, it doesn't work for that. But as long as they're getting a paycheck and they're going to have W-2 wages, they can start saving for their retirement now.
Incredible. Well, it's a pretty hopeful outlook when you think of the compound growth that's possible. But in their first jobs, teens are often not just learning to work, but hopefully learning smart money habits, leading to that compound growth. So how can parents help their kids with that?
Yeah, so I'll share a personal story of what we did in my family when my oldest turned 14. We offered him to get work during the summer, and if he did, we would support him, which we were going to do anyway. And if he took his paycheck and put it into a Roth IRA, which basically you put that money in, it grows tax deferred, and it will come out tax free later on in retirement. Whatever he put into that account, we would match and give him spending money. So we started encouraging that habit at a very early age, and now he's 8 years older, looking at that account. He's been following it over all these years. So he's gotten acclimated. And now as he's entering the workforce, he is asking about companies if they have a 401k and how he can continue saving towards his retirement.
That's great. Sometimes parents might be prompted to say, oh, you're young, just make the most of it, and feel that their children do know how to save if they want to. So what are the tangible benefits beyond practicing habits later in life?
Yeah. I mean, children only know and young adults only know what they see and what they hear and what they learn. And, quite frankly, they're learning a lot of things online and through social media outlets. And a lot of that stuff is not necessarily accurate. So you have to make sure that you're armed with the accurate information of what this could and how this can impact them. Because at the end of the day, the generation that are turning 14, 15, that are starting these summer jobs, in many cases, their retirement is solely on their shoulders. So if they could start the path of saving towards retirement today, then they should do that. And we should be able to be in a position to help educate them on how to do that. I'll also share when my son got his first job while he was in college, he was telling somebody how he's had a Roth IRA since he was 14 years old. And an adult said to him, oh, you can't have a Roth IRA until you turn 18. He goes, no, you can. As long as you have earned income, you can start saving for retirement. So even adults and a lot of folks don't even know that this exists. And if we can educate our young folk about its existence and get them started on the right path, it could be hugely impactful to them.
Now, as life goes by, whether you're looking to get married, have children, or retire, budgeting is also a necessary skill. So how can children learn more about that with their summer jobs?
Yeah, so starting early again, I mean, when my kids were young, they had a piggy bank that had, instead of the traditional one slot, it had several slots. It had a slot for spending, a slot for saving, and a slot for investing. And that opened up a conversation about what each of those means and how when you earn money, whether it's through chores or other means, how you can allocate that differently and how you should think about money. And how that conversation should change as the kids get older to preteens, then teens, then eventually college. Because if you can instill this sense of what budgeting is, how to budget it, and that it's not all about spending all your money today or saving all your money today, that there's a happy medium in between, and adding investing to it, it can have a huge impact on them as adults and their future using these budgeting tools.
Now, how do you suggest families foster that sense of financial literacy and security within their family culture? You've talked about these beautiful practices that you've got. Anything more about mindset or other practices?
Yeah, I mean, have conversations about it. It's really important to just talk about money. I know in some families it's somewhat taboo, but if your youngster is working and they're getting a paycheck, sit down with them when they get the paycheck. Sit down with them and review the pay stub and talk to them and show them the difference between gross income, what they get paid, and what their net income is after taxes, and how they plan on utilizing that money, and talk about those areas of spending, saving, and investing, and just have those conversations. And if they're not working and doing that, then maybe take a look at either starting them on some kind of allowance program where they get some kind of income and have to manage it, or maybe even take out your own paycheck if you feel comfortable enough, and maybe just write over the amount that you're getting paid and just adjust it. But use it as a tool to have a conversation to get them in these habits as early as possible, because it will serve them well in life.
And getting many people started today. Thank you so much for your advice. Lawrence Sprung, good to speak with you as always.
Thank you.